Hey y'all, back again for plant sessions. My name is Kristen. I am one of the founders of Tula and very happy to be back again for some plant sessions. Today I'm going to talk hopefully quickly, about the do's and don'ts of Calathea winter plant care. What are Calathea? These are Calathea. This is a Calathea lancifolia. This is a Calathea pinstripe. This is a Calathea medallion. This is a Calathea orbifolia. Calathea are beautiful, beautiful plants that look as though they have been painted, but they do not like winter. So what happens when Calathea look unhappy? Most times, like this. They look like they have dried leaf tips and their leaves start to curl in. You see how this is curling inwards because they're thirsty? Most of the time when Calatheas are unhappy is due to a level of moisture, humidity, or moisture in the soil. So if you can start there and work your way backwards, you can most often either fix the problem or apply new learnings for your future Calathea purchases. So I'm just going to run through a few do's and don'ts of Calathea plant care for indoors. So the first things we'll do is like the don'ts. So don't keep your Calathea near a heater or a heat vent or at a really hot sunny window. Ideally, Calathea really prefer, because they're underneath the canopy in the tropical rainforest, they like a really warm and humid environment. And they also are accustomed to dapples of direct sun. So they're not used to like really, really hot sun, but they do appreciate those dapples of sun. So if you have a spot away from your window, if you have direct sun, like an east, south, or west window, that's like a few feet back from the window where your Calathea is getting some direct sun, and then, other hours of shade and indirect, that's best. A north window is great if you're not getting direct sun, and if it's not too hot. North window is diffused light, which the Calathea really loves. So some direct sun is okay, it's okay, not too much, and diffused light is great. But warm humidity is what you want to focus on the most. So moving on. The next thing that you don't want to do is leave your Calathea at a cold window. So Calathea don't like to be cold. They do not like drafty windows. Cold air can cause very quick leaf damage to a Calathea, so avoid cold windows. And then the last thing that I would recommend is to not allow your Calathea to dry too much between waterings. So it's good to let it dry a little bit at the top, but never fully. So if you're a traveler or you're forgetful, maybe Calathea is not the best plant for you, because this is what ends up happening is that, again, the dryness at the tips is one of the signs of a lack of moisture, either from the outside air and there's not enough humidity, or that the plant is being left to dry too long between waterings. So, and this I can tell because it's curling again, that this plant was left to dry too long between waterings. So we got to give this guy a really good water, and it will come right back up. It'll open right back up. So, but you want to avoid that so that you don't cause permanent damage, like the dryness at the leaves. When a leaf does dry at the tips, it's not going to regenerate. So you either can trim it off, shape it, or you cut that whole leaf off. It's up to you. So those are the 3 don't tips that I would recommend. 3 do tips I would recommend. One is get a humidifier. Get a humidifier if you grow tropical plants at home and you live especially in a New York City apartment. Here, it's very dry, and so humidity really helps for your tropical plants. Inevitably, honestly, guys, like if you do end up getting brown tips on your Calathea, it's okay. Like if you're not ever getting brown tips on your Calathea, that's amazing. So you're doing something incredibly right, so let me know. I have a Calathea orbifolia at home, and I definitely have some browning in the wintertime that just I accept it, and then I prune it off in the summer, and then new leaves grow. So it's also part of the whole process. So don't, get mad at yourself if that happens. So humidity. Also, if you don't want a humidifier or you want to add extra humidifier, you can do a pebble tray and humidity tray. So this is just a planter dish, and I added some rocks to this, and I poured water into the rocks, and a lot of the water was already absorbed by the rocks. So I'm gonna add some more water in here. And you can add water every few days whenever the water is basically evaporated, and you do not just simply place your pot on top of the rocks. Don't smush it in so the bottom of the planter is sitting amongst the rocks. That's not what you want to do, because you don't want the roots to be sitting into the water. You just want it sitting atop the water. And basically what this is doing, it's just a natural humidifier, and so the water is evaporating into the air and your leaves are absorbing it. We do this for rehabbing plants, and you can see this a lot in orchid growing as well. So this is a really great tip. And then the last tip that I'll add is misting. So you can mist your calathea daily. I would suggest in the morning or midday, not at night, especially if you have drafty windows, because cold water on foliage is never good for tropical plants. It can cause damage and fungus. So you want to avoid that. But just regular misting, just a little passing shower is great. So those are my 3 do's, my 3 don'ts, or my 3 don'ts and my 3 do's. So don't put it near a heater or in the way of a heat vent. Don't leave it at a cold window, and don't let your calathea dry too much between waterings. And then obviously find the right balance of light. Do recreate as much as you can a warm, humid environment with dapples of direct sun or really good diffuse light. Do mist regularly. Do allow your calathea to dry a little bit at the top with the soil between waterings. Take it to the sink, give it a really good water, water the bottoms of the leaves and the tops of the leaves, get everybody nice and wet, and let the water drain from the bottom a few times. You want to get that soil nice and saturated. And do love them and talk to them, and check on them. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email us anytime. care@tula.house. That is care@tula.house. We're happy to help and answer your questions. I really appreciate you watching this video and caring so much about your plants, and I hope to see you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.